Wilson, where are you joining from? What city? What country are you joining from? Right? So as you join, tell me where you are joining from. Tell me where you are joining from. Yeah, we actually used to have very cozy atmosphere in the room because we want to get to know ourselves. And then sometimes the people here have a solution to a problem that someone else has. So introduce yourself. Introduce yourself and tell me where you are joining us from. What city? Okay, far beyond. Where are you joining from again? Joseph Chibukemado. Thanks for coming. Where are you joining from? All right. Okay. So third is joining from Botswana. Am I meditating? Oh, I'm glad you noticed that. Yeah. There's actually a calmness over me, and then there's a calmness that we all need, especially in times that we're living in. We need this calmness of spirit. We need sobriety of heart. Yeah, so that's a good question, whether I'm meditating. So I probably look very calm and peaceful. That's actually what I want to do all the time. All right, where are you watching from? Where are you watching from? Helen is watching from Abuja. Okay, Ansi, where are you joining us from? Florence, Osaremen, where are you watching from? Tell me. Okay, and then while we're doing that, actually, to your question, whether I'm meditating, I'm sitting outside the country house. It's kind of windy, quite cool. Well, not windy. The breeze is really, really refreshing right here. And okay, I got a solar street light in front of my house. That's and then I have another one I put over there. So I have a couple of solar lights around my residence. So I think this lighting is really making it look very good. Is that the moon behind me? Oh yeah. So that's also the African night moon. Can you see that? This part of my head. That's beautiful, beautiful sky. Look at that. That's beautiful. So that's the moon. Okay, so good observation. All right, everyone, tell me where you're joining from. And then let me know what you do. What do you do? What are your expectations? What do you want to learn? Uchechukwu is joining from Abakaliki in Ebonyi State. Okay, that's very close. Okay, Chukwumobodo, where are you joining from? Okay, now here's what I want to talk about today. You know, I decided that this is going to be as practical as possible, not theories, not things that people read in books, because we are facing real situations, when it comes to our finances, when it comes to our relationships, when it comes to our marriages, our parenting, when it comes to our spirituality. We face real situations in this part of the world, but many times these things are not dealt with at the root. Okay? Many times these challenges and issues that people and families have are not dealt with at the root, from the root. Okay, Musa Lukman says he's watching from Ghana. All right, good. Okay, so we've got some good representation. Which other country is represented here? We have Ghana, we have Botswana, we have Nigeria. Which other country is represented here? Type in the comment section. So people are facing real situation, but unfortunately the social media is structured in such a way that people want to show up like everything is okay with them, and everything is not okay. There's just so much packaging, and I keep asking people, do you prefer packaging? do you prefer to look rich and be poor? Or do you really want to be rich? They are two different things. There's a lot of pretense. Okay, Stephen is watching from Nasarawa. And believe me, I was in Nasarawa today. Stephen, just sometime this morning, I was in Nasarawa. There's a lot of food going on in Nasarawa. I mean, I saw beans, mangoes, all kinds of things. That's a fantastic place, that state. I think I would like to explore Nasarawa a little bit more. I like the general serenity. The people seem to work very hard. Is that correct, Stephen? The people seem to work very hard, especially the women. Okay? They seem to really work very hard. And I like those communities. So today I was thinking, I would really like to come and spend a week in Nasarawa, in one of those villages, just hide there, get to know the people of Nasarawa, eat their food, listen to their stories, the stories of their lives, see how they are coping with the economy, and then how I can help them, the rural people. Okay, very good, Stephen. Okay, where else? Which other country is represented here that we haven't mentioned? Where are you? Or city? So I've seen Abakaliki, I've seen Abuja. Is there Lagos? Is there, what other cities here? Type in the comment section. Let's know where we are all watching from. So, talking about real people, real situations that are not finding real answers, because everybody wants to fake it. Everybody wants to look successful. Even if they are not successful, everybody wants to look like their successful neighbor, And I don't know why people would rather look rich than be rich. And so when I come out here to tell people how to be actually rich, they rebel, they insult me, and they say, oh, no, it can't be. You don't know what you're talking about. Because people prefer to look rich than to be actually rich. And it is impossible to be rich without delayed gratification. So I have a couple of videos and posts on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook, where I was encouraging young people, when you get your first bulk money, please do not think about buying car first. Don't think about buying car first. That's not the first thing. Musa says, come to Ghana. Oh, yeah, Ghana is like my second home. Yeah, I've lived and worked in Ghana for like 6 years. So I was in East Legon, then later Airport Residential, and I still have some consulting going on in Ghana. But I can understand. I'm not sure if you're in the Accra area, because I usually spend my time around the Accra area. Okay, I can see that there's also Libya here, Tripoli. Odogu Mentor is watching from Tripoli. Okay, and then Afachiku is watching from the UK. So I think we're getting all the continents. I haven't seen anybody from the US yet. So we have Europe, we have UK, we have Libya, we have Botswana, we have Ghana, we have what's the other? Of course, we have Nigeria. Okay, so guys and girls here, becoming wealthy. I'm on that journey. I'm not wealthy yet, but I am very, very comfortable. I'm very comfortably on that journey, because the good thing about the journey to wealth is, if you are actually journeying correctly, it is not the destination. You will even be enjoying it right now. And I'll give you examples. Oh, okay. We have Alak from South Sudan. Amazing. South Sudan is very, very represented. And then I'm also here seeing Oyinka from the Arctic Circle. I can't believe this. Arctic Circle. That's the first. Okay, very good. So the journey to wealth is not something you start becoming happy or joyful about when you reach. That's the amazing thing. If you're doing like the things I'm telling you to do, if you're doing that, it's not when you are, it's not like a destination. You will be enjoying it right now as you are getting there. Because if you're in the journey to becoming wealthy, your mindset should already be wealthy. The first place you work on is actually your mindset. And then already, your mind does not know the difference between what is real and imagined. So if your thinking process align with the thinking process of creating wealth, then you are already wealthy and you'll be enjoying every single day. Every single day. Every day you save a little money to invest, you'll be joyful. So you might not have $1 million in the bank, but you are happy at that time that you got $100. I'm using dollars because of the international nature of the session. You got $100, and then you were able to save 10. And out of the $10, you bought Apple. My goodness, you became an owner in Apple stock. Or you buy Google. Long-term investment. You buy Google. You buy Amazon. And then every month you're saving that $10, and then there is a joy that floods your mind, so that even though you don't have that 1 million, you still feel very, very happy because you're on the journey. That is what's going on. That is what is happening to me. I don't have the billions. I don't have billions anywhere, but I know it's coming. I'm on that journey, but every single day gets me closer because I'm practicing the habits that will get me there. So what I need each of you to do is to be conscious and intentional of the habits that make you wealthy. Practice it every day. Don't compare yourself with other people. Everybody's journey is different. Don't compare yourself with the people who are riding big cars and then showing off. No, don't do that. When I'm around some friends or acquaintances, and then they are talking about, oh, okay, they just bought a house, like my friend, say, I just bought a house, 2 billion here. And then he's considering buying another property in Abuja. How much? He said 700 million. So they call these figures, and I'm not there. But, I don't compare myself because our journeys are different. So am I not be buying the properties worth 2 billion, 3 billion in the different place? I might not be able to buy that yet. But I'm also thankful for the journey I have been and for the successes I have seen. Okay? So, be very intentional about your journey to wealth. And then let me remind you about the 4 P's of wealth, the 4 P's of the journey of wealth. And then we will now talk about today's topic. And then while I'm talking, if you have a question, if you have any question at all relating to anything you would like me to answer, just type it in the comment section. Those of you watching on YouTube, also type it in the comment section, and then I'm going to take that question. So as I'm talking right now in this live session, if you have a question, type it, and then I will take it. But let me first give you the 4 P's, okay? Oh, it's beautiful. Take a little walk around. So the first P in the journey or to wealth is purpose. Purpose. So your journey to wealth actually begins with understanding what your purpose is. Understanding what your purpose is. In fact, you have not started living until you have actually understood what your purpose is. Because there's no happier human excuse me, oh my goodness. Pardon that belching. So there's no happier human being than the one who understands what his or her purpose is. There's no happier woman alive than the woman who understands her purpose and who is living it. And you see, that's why I've seen some really very powerful women, very confident, very powerful. They have this glorious courage around them. And when they speak, you respect them. They speak with a lot of confidence and power. And what I've found out about those women is that they know who they are. But you see, the women who are just drifting, and our young girls who are just drifting, some of them, when I finish my youth service, I'll be happy. They finish youth service, they are not happy. Oh, when I get a job, I'll be happy. They get a job, they are not happy. Oh, when I get a husband, I will finally be. In fact, that's the best thing God can do for me, to just get a husband. Once I get a husband, I'll be the happiest woman. They get married. Within 3 months, they're talking about divorce. Why? Because you have not captured exactly what your purpose is. You need to understand your purpose. That's really where the journey to wealth begins. That's where it begins. Why? Because the wealth that is assigned to your destiny is tied to your purpose. Because you don't just create wealth for the sake of creating wealth, and then you're answering a big man, and then they'll be hailing you everywhere, and then they'll be talking about you in your village. This is the richest man in this is the richest person in South Sudan. This is the richest person in Tripoli. No, that's not the purpose of wealth. Wealth has assignment. Wealth has assignment. And so for many of us, why it's very difficult for us to actually create a comfortable income is that we are drifting. We don't even know what we are here for. But it's the power of purpose that draws, that attracts wealth to us. So that's the first P. The second P is a plan. The second P is plan. It amazes me how many people wake up every morning without a plan. And it's also amazing how many people enter this new year without a plan. So it's not enough to have a purpose. You've got to have a plan that will bring that purpose to life. You've got to have a plan. Every man should have a plan. And more so if you're a family man, you must have a plan. You must have a plan. And I teach young girls, when someone comes to propose to you, I know it's usually a very emotional thing. This new wave, which is actually un-African, I don't know where it came from. People take a ring and then they kneel down before the girl, will you marry me? I usually find that thing so awkward. But when a man proposes to you, the first question is not, where do you work? How much do you make every month? That is the most ridiculous question you can ever ask the man. Ask the man, what is your purpose? What is your vision for the family you want to start with me? That's how many of you just get carried away by the proposal. You get in there. You don't know the man's purpose. The man has not articulated a vision. First day I proposed to my wife, I told her what my vision was way back, 30-something years ago. I told her clearly, and I told her what my vision was before asking her. And I asked her, is this the kind of life that you want to get involved in? First day. Because if you marry someone who you are not aligned with his vision and values, that marriage is going to hit the rock. Because there are certain V's, that keep your relationship, your marriage going for a long time. This year we'll be married for 30 years. 30 years. And it is that same vision. We still talk about it. And it's also the same values. That's the second V. There's vision, there's values. Those things are really what you look for to keep a marriage. Okay? So, the first P in the journey to wealth is purpose. The second P is plan. You've got to have a plan. What's the plan? What's your plan? How do you intend to harness your gifts, your skills, your resources to make your purpose happen. The third P is process. You've got to have a process. You've got to have a system. One of the questions that Jim Rohn, the late Jim Rohn, asked us that really changed my thinking. He said that for every one of us, you, myself, there's one question you should answer. Have you found the opportunity that will take care of you and your family for the rest of your life? In fact, every one of you, all of you here, pause and type that question. Everyone, it is a requirement. Type it. I want you, by typing it in the comment section, to commit to it. The question is, have you found that opportunity that will take care of you and your family for the rest of your life? Type it. I'm going to give you 15 seconds. Type it. Have you found the opportunity that will take care of you and your family for the rest of your life? Because if you have not answered that question, then you have not started. Because everything, there must be opportunity. There must be opportunity. And that opportunity can come in the form of entrepreneurship, form of running a business. It can come in the form of financial markets, participating in the financial markets. It can come in the form of investment. It can come in the form of commodity trading. It can come in the form of network marketing. It can come in the form of forex. It can come in the form of AI technology. It can come in the form of digital marketing. It can come in the form of cyber security. It can come in the form of software development. It can come in the form of buying and selling. It can come in the form of importation, mini importation, import from China. You do white label, and then you put your own label and say, it can come. So it can come in the form of a job. You just land an international job that pays you $150,000. Have you found that opportunity that will take care of you and your family for the rest of your life? Type it in the comment section. And then there's a follow-up question. If you haven't found that opportunity, how many hours do you dedicate to finding it every week? How many hours every week do you dedicate to finding that opportunity? Because until you do, nothing else matters. So that's the third P. There must be a process. What are the habits? What are the routines? What are the systems in place, for you to earn income and to manage income and then to multiply income? So there are three things. To make the money, what are the processes you use for making the money? What are the processes you use for managing your money, budgeting, allocating, and then what are the processes you use to multiply your money, which is investment? Very good, very good. I can see all of you are typing it. Yeah, Helen has typed that. Yes. Have you found the opportunity, that opportunity that will take care of you and your family for the rest of your life? So Helen, you have to add for the rest of your life. Yeah. That's a very, very powerful focusing question that I think that once we are done with this session, you should stop scrolling social media and take some time and think about it. Think about it. I have a friend. His own opportunity is mining. This is what this guy has been focused on now for like a period of, he's in his mid-50s now. This is what he has been focused on for the past 30 years. Mining, solid minerals. Fantastic opportunity. Solid minerals. And it was through him that my eyes were opened to the solid minerals opportunity. He told me about a particular mineral, I think it's called titanium or something like that, that a few grams, like in your teaspoon, costs thousands and thousands of dollars in the market. And then I understand that these solid minerals are in the middle belt in Nigeria. They are there in Jos. It was through him, that I saw how lucrative the quarry business is. Because there's construction going on 24/7. Houses are being constructed, roads are being constructed. So all the granites, they need them for all this construction. So there are opportunities in construction, in healthcare, in medicine, in manufacturing. I know a young woman, her own is she just makes beauty care, skincare product. She is a multi-millionaire. And I won't be surprised if she's already done more than $1 million, because she spends on Facebook ad alone 2 to 3 million naira every single month advertising her program, and she returns 10-20 times that every single month. That's an incredible opportunity. There's an opportunity you find and you don't look for another one. That one alone can take care of you and your family for the rest of your life. Have you found that opportunity? We're going to spend a session on that. Okay? Then the last P is patience. It's patience. This generation is not patient. Everybody is 17-year-old wants to ride a Lamborghini at 17. Because of that, he takes his girlfriend to use for ritual, money ritual. And they nabbed him. True story. Some of you probably saw it. What are you riding a Lamborghini for at 17 years? At 17 years. Wealth, true wealth takes time. And sometimes it may never come to you. Like I'm 60. I'm going to be 60 in a few months this year. I'm 60. And it hasn't come. Sometimes wealth can come to you at 60. Sometimes it can come at 70. Sometimes it can come at 65. And when it comes, it had better be clean wealth. Because if wealth meets you, like I'm expecting mine in my 60s, my goodness, you'll be in good health, you'll be in good conscience with God and with man. You didn't offend anybody. You didn't create adulterated pharmaceutical product like somebody did and killed some babies. You didn't put your hand into something shady. And then you're a wealthy gentleman. You sleep well in the night, knowing that you have not hurt anybody, knowing that you put people before profit. That's amazing. Okay? So patience is important. Patience is important. My mentor, he turned 85 a few days ago. He's 85 years old. One of my mentors. My other mentor, which some of you already know, Shingo Wigwe, Herbert Wigwe's father, he's 90 years. I have very elderly mentors. Ukuru is 93. Orji is 95. I think she'll be 96 this year. I spend time with this man. So sometimes when you listen to me, you probably hear some things. Some things that are really, really deep. Yeah, I spend time with these men. And they teach me. And sometimes when I'm with them, I'm with Okoro, I have my notebook. He's talking, I'm writing. Do you know what it means for a 90-year-old person to be talking to you about life? And many of you don't go looking for that opportunity. You are there looking for money, but you should actually be looking for wisdom and looking for men like that. I treasure my time with them. 1 hour with Daddy Shingo Wigwe, 1 hour with him is so gracious. It's like I've spent 1 year in that 1 hour. In fact, the love that comes from him, they care. The way he calls my name. The way he's one of the few people who actually call my name the way my father and mother gave me the name. And then the words of wisdom and patience that come out of his mouth, the gracious words, incredible. And then the first time that I met, I call him Elder Orji. He was still in his 80s. So it was a while ago. The first thing he taught me and my family, because that day, my wife and then my 3 boys were there. We met them. First thing, and I happened to have my guitar that day. The man loves to sing. He's 95. he loves to sing. So that particular day, do you know, he said there was a song that he learned in 1947 that he wanted to teach us. He came, we wrote it out, and we sang and sang and sang. Patience and fortitude, patience and fortitude, patience and fortitude, and things will come your way. A 95-year-old man is telling you, a 25-year-old, about patience and fortitude, and things will come your way. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, patience is a critical ingredient in creating wealth. Wealth that does not bring sorrow. Be patient. You see my posts every day. One day I'm driving through one forest, looking for hunter to get honey. The other one, I'm not seeing big money, but I'm patient. I'm patient because I know that as I'm, solving real life problems, like the business I've started right now is focused on providing food with conscience. With conscience. Is providing food, making food with conscience, because 99% of all our food is adulterated. People are doing things without conscience. How can you put detergent inside food that people are eating? How can you put chemical dyes that cause cancer inside palm oil just because you want to make profit? And people are doing these things. People are doing incredible, horrible things to make money. So, and I'm patient. I'm serving first. I've not started seeing money, but patience and fortitude, and these things will come your way. Be patient in your pursuit for wealth. Don't be rich overnight. Don't struggle to be rich overnight. It's not worth it. It's going to wear you out. You will lose your peace, and you won't even make that money. You won't even make it, because if you're going to make money the real way, it's going to require patience. So these are the 4 P's of wealth. That's purpose, plan, process, and patience. Okay, so let me see if there are a couple of questions, and then we'll take the last point for tonight. Okay, let me see if there's a question in the comment section. I think I saw a question. All right, Chinwezi says, sir, the opportunity I have identified that will take care of me and my family is real estate and agriculture. Fantastic. Fantastic. There are people who are just only on real estate. Sometimes you mention real estate and then the American guy's name that comes to your mind is, what's his name again? He just did butterflies in my mind. You can type something Cardone. What's his name? Something Cardone. Okay? Real estate. Some people just find a thing that will feed them and they stick to it. And they do extremely well. They are not jumping, hustling from one thing to the other. So I'm glad you have found it. Okay? Very good. Very good. All right. So let me go to the last talking point for tonight. And that is, it's a very real situation, especially for family people. You find yourself in a situation where your expenses in the family exceed your income. And it has been like that for years, month after month. The expenses in the house, in the family, exceed the income that comes in. What do you do in that situation? And then when things are like that, it's a natural stress. It's actually stress because your expenses are here and then your income is here. So that's already natural tension. There'll be tension in the house, tension in the relationships, tension everywhere. And it is not something that you It's not something that you want to allow to continue forever. It's something to be addressed. Because if you don't address, remember, I told you the other day, we were talking about problem solving. If you haven't watched that video, go to YouTube and watch it. And then I told you that problems don't go away just because you ignore them. So if you find yourself as a family in a situation where every month the expenses always exceed the income, even when you bring in the income, of your husband and then yourself or your wife and your own income, you put them together and then it's never enough. The expenses are always more. There's rent, there's food, there's maintenance of your car, there's the children's school run, school fees and things like that. It's always, So what do you do? First thing is actually to sit down and ask yourself, what is the root of this situation? Because there are only two strategies. One is cut down your expenses. Actually, three. Cut down your expenses. Trim off certain things that you can trim off. There was a time we found ourselves in that situation. We used to buy this dispenser water and then with a refill. It was quite a luxury at the time. It was a luxury. We had to demote a little bit without compromising so there are some things you can actually cut down on without compromising your health. So I found that, wait a minute, people are drinking the sachet water and nothing is happening to them. And then many times I also discovered that the sachet water, that is just the packaging, because the people who make the sachet water also make the table water and they also make the dispenser bottle water. And I figured, hey, it's the same water, different packaging. And it made so much difference because what we used to buy one dispenser at that time could buy, it's not now that sachet water has become, with inflation, has become quite expensive. In those days, sachet water, the full bag of sachet water was like 20 naira or something like that. Or was it 200? 20 naira. Something ridiculous like that. I don't remember whether it's 20 or 200. I think it was 20 naira. So I found that what we used to buy, the bottled, distilled, bottled dispenser water that lasted us 2 or 3 days, could buy us sachet water that Nigerians call pure water, could buy us sachet water for literally the whole month. And it was so significant. It was such a significant saving, for us, cutting down that expense for water. So you've got to do a lot of re-engineering. Sit down with the children and sit down with your husband and the children. Sit down with your wife and the children. And then look at the things you people buy and look for ways that you can cut down. Who are you trying to impress? So if you come to my house and then I don't have the bottled or dispenser water to give, I give you what I drink. If you like it, fine. If you don't like it, yeah. But nobody ever complained because they come, they see what we're drinking, and then they drink. So look for ways that you can cut down. Okay? Look for ways that you can cut down. I also found in my own case that I used to be very impulsive. I was an impulsive buyer, when it came to gadgets or books, those two things. So I have so many gadgets I bought that I have not even used. I was in the US a couple of months ago. There are gadgets I bought. Now I have hundreds of dollars that I should have released to do other things. They are waiting there in my room. I've not used them. And these things were quite expensive. So you can also look out for those things. What are the habits you can change? What are the expenses you can cut down? Where can you see savings? Because it is not a very good sign for a family that every single time your expenses will always exceed your income. Second strategy, increase your income. Increase your income. And that's what we're talking about, opportunity. Because the truth, why your income is not meeting your expenses is because you're not earning enough. And then you are not earning enough because you're not involved in a high income opportunity. Type high income opportunity. Type high income opportunity. Yeah. If you're not making enough income, it's because you have not found a high income opportunity. So do you know that there are high income opportunities and there are low income opportunities? And if you're in low income opportunity, which is typically what everybody else is doing, like people who are doing menial job, there's so much competition in low income opportunities, more competition in low income opportunities than in high income opportunities. So you find people like a young man I know who is doing some tech work and is earning 1 point something million every month remotely. So if you find yourself in a situation where your income never meets your expenses, then you need to look for high income opportunity and then upgrade from where you are right now. I have a very lovely friend in his 50s. He's now he's on Coursera now, learning new tech opportunities. In his 50s, there's no time you cannot learn anything. Okay, so look for those opportunities where people are being paid. Go on YouTube. Spend time, 1 hour every day. Learn it, start practicing, upgrade. If there's a certification to do it, and then apply. There are remote jobs all over the place. On LinkedIn, in different places, remote job sites, hiring people. Because since after 2020, there are people in your country working for American companies, and they've never traveled to America. So look for those opportunities. They are there. Don't just sit in your house, roaming the neighborhood and crying that there's no opportunity. You've not looked for them. Okay? So, strategy number 1, cut down your expenses. Strategy number 2, increase your income. Strategy number 3, do a combination of both. Because even if you increase your income, you also don't want to increase your expenses. Otherwise, you'll find yourself in the same situation where as the income comes, the expenses kind of drown them up. Okay? Has somebody been blessed tonight? Has somebody found value tonight? Type value. If you got value, type value. Or just say, I did. Okay, Chinweze has a question. Chinweze, incidentally, I don't have my glasses, but let me see if I can. Oh, don't you love my night sky? This is beautiful. Okay, Chinweze says, I have a challenge. I am very secretive to my wife when it comes to my finances because I feel she would want to overspend if she knows how much I have. However, she feels I don't want to bring out enough money to take care of the home, even when I am trying to stick to a budget so I can invest and run my business. What do I do? It's a tough one. If I'm in your situation, this is what I would do, and this is what I did myself, and it works for me. I think that the biggest opportunity for openness in marriage is around finances. And when husband and wife are not open about their finances, it's a problem. I doubt that you can be open about every other thing. I had a colleague in one of my workplaces in those days, a woman. Okay, we were on the same floor in that office. So one day she told us, she built a house. Somewhere in Aja, finished building a house, and her husband did not know anything about it. And then many of you may have heard about that other popular case where a woman built a house and then it was rented to them and the husband was paying rent to her. I don't know how many of you remember that case a couple of years ago. When the man discovered he'd been paying rent, and that rent was going to his wife. Of course, she was using an agent, and it was her own house. So you could see how betrayed the man felt and devastated, because the man was struggling. And then the woman was making him struggle a lot more, pay house rent, pay the school fees, and then the day he discovered, he was devastated. So I don't know how they regained trust, in their relationship. So I think the good thing would be that what I would do is to actually call her and then craft a family financial vision with her and with the children. Craft a family financial vision. Where do we want to go in terms of our finances? Where do we see us in the next 10 years? And then for us to get there, what needs to happen? Because the amazing thing about our women, when they give you their support, my God, that thing you are trying to do that would have taken you 10 years, a woman will make it will take you only 6 months. So many times we deny ourselves, as men, we deny ourselves the cooperation of our women. And we deny ourselves their incredible wisdom and contact. There are some problems you want to solve. You just mention it and then, that problem is solved. So don't underrate the contribution your wife can make to the family finances. So I think you guys should discuss it. Discuss your vision, and then get a buy-in. What do you save? What do you invest regularly in order to get to, And then when you make her a partner and then you open up to her, you might find that she may not really want to spend the money, but because you've agreed on the vision together, okay? You want to retire by so age, you want to accumulate this level of asset in real estate, in the stock market and all that by this age. You want to be able to afford this kind of education for the children, meaning you have to have a certain level of asset. If she commits to it, then she will not be spending the money. Our women can be amazing. So, but you do that with wisdom, and then with tact, and then with respect, because you know your wife, very well. And then, get her buy-in and her support. Okay? All right. Okay, so this is where we're going to call it good night tonight. So go ahead and share this session if you believe it will help a lot more people. And then let me know what your aha moments were in the comment section. And this is Friday, so we're going to continue on Monday, because this is weekdays, same time on Monday. I'm going to see you, and whatever happens within the weekend, keep showing up. Make sure you show up, because you just never know if this is the weekend you've been waiting for. And I'll see you on Monday. Good night.